Bitch, you know, for sure. You're not listening to the Mind of an Antares Moon. I'm the Archangel Uriel, but right now I'm Flight Dracula, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And right now we're gonna talk about this. Love is evil. I'm gonna let y'all mind build on that for a second. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let y'all mind build on that for a second. I'm gonna let y'all have all y'all oppositions towards me, and then all the free thinkers. I'm gonna let y'all build on where y'all think I'm going with this. But I'm just going to give you the actuality of it. You see what I'm saying? Now, for the most part, this is what you need to understand. Now, time is up. For the most part, this is what you need to understand. Love in general is a seventh and eighth and ninth dimensional being. So once we talk about those hierarchies and frequency vibrations, we're no longer dealing with the concept of evil, how y'all perceive it down in this realm of reality. So for the most part, in the seventh and eighth, ninth dimension, this is an actual being. Right now, when it plays out in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension, right, it's actually a substance now. It's a substance. It's a form of fluid, frequency, or something like that. So it's a substance, right? So this is what you need to know. It's vibrating, and it's a substance that you can actually utilize. Now, that substance itself, the realm of reality and the dimension that you are in, a lot of that substance is what helped created this realm. So a lot of y'all was made out of love. You see what I'm saying? A lot of y'all was made out of that substance. But this is what y'all not understanding. See, in the third dimension, what y'all perceiving as love is just a whole bunch of that substance. And a whole bunch of that substance in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension is like a frequency wave. So in the third dimension, it's more like light, because that's a lighter version of a wave in the third dimension. So y'all look at it like light here. And a lot of light that's being emitted creates illusions and blindness. So a lot of things that y'all think is love is the shit that actually kills y'all. That's what y'all not understanding. The shit that you love, appreciate, and value is the shit that kills you. Shit, a lot of y'all would die for the things that y'all love, for the people, places, and things that y'all love. So that's letting you know in the third dimension that your ass is gonna die. That's the actual state of being of it. But the illusion of it is you justify the meanings of reasoning of why your ass getting ready to die for whatever you getting ready to die for. So that justification, that morality you add on to it actually is the lostness, actually is the language, the word, the linguistic, the frequency, the vibration, the luring of it, to the point that it becomes a lord and a spell, and then that's the actual frequency vibration that you actually play out. But this is what you need to understand. That's why it's on a behind the scenes level. It's the shit that kill you. Everything you indulge into is the shit that kill you. And indulging doesn't even necessarily is exclusive to food and drugs. You can indulge into a relationship, how you love. You can indulge into your work. It's a lot of things out here you can indulge into, and slowly but surely you will see the process of this shit manifesting in your life in a turbulent type of way. And 9 times out of 10, it's something that you loved, valued, appreciated, and something you was willing to compromise with. And this is all the energy frequencies that got birthed from the energy signature of love, Lucifer, light, whatever, law, language, Lord, whatever y'all fucking want to call it down here. Now, Elohim, taking an L. But for the most part, you know what I'm saying, you most likely gonna take an L when you're valuing something too much. Now that's just breaking it down to third dimension. Now let's go into the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension, right? Now it's an actual substance. Now it is actually evil. Let's start to break this down. Why fourth, fifth, and sixth dimensional beings look at love like it's evil. Now for the most part, check this out, right? Check this out. This is also what y'all need to understand, why, if you don't think we live in a wave, a frequency wave, right? Pay close attention to this, right? Say you have a bee flying around. Everybody could put this to test. Say you got like a bee flying around you, or a fly. You know, there's a bug that keep nagging you, right? And it keeps nagging you. Here's what you're not understanding. When you do this, like try to smack it away or whatever like that, you think you're smacking in the air, but you're smacking in a lighter version of an ocean. You're within the rainbow ocean. So pay attention to where you're in water in the third dimensional realm and make a wave. That's what you do. So since you trying to smack the bee away or to fly away, that's a lighter body. So that body form get caught in that wave you just created. So if you created a wave going towards your face, trying to smack it out your face in the first place, right? That bee or fly is going to get caught in that wave, and what's going to happen? They're going to fly and keep flying in that routine of the wave current you just created. So if you want a bee or a bug to stop fucking with you, what you need to do is stand still. Don't create no wave around you. You get what I'm saying? So for the most part, now let's talk about how motherfucking love is evil. Now, in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension, y'all need to look at it down here like this. In the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension, we are fighting for space. And space is getting very insufficient. You know what I'm saying? That's why every time we try to take 4th, 5th, and 6th dimensional aspects and ideas and concepts based upon our ages and movements, anytime we try to take that energy and bring it down here, it plays out in the 3rd dimension as form of technology. You know what I'm saying? And all forms of technology has what? Insufficient space. Once you start to add a bunch of apps or add too much things, you start to have insufficient space. So this is getting you to a concept of y'all think y'all buying shit. Y'all think y'all trying to run from the government or whatever that, but y'all need to learn how to apply, because in a minute in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension, you motherfuckers is going to be paying for space. You think shit is sweet in the 3rd dimension. Shit ain't sweet at all in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension. So if you scared of anything going on down here, your ass is not prepared. Your ass is going to be staying animalistic in the 3rd dimensional realm. But you need to understand in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension, your motherfucking ass is going to be paying for space. And if you ain't in no type of spirit to the point that you taking over space, you taking over land, if you ain't in that kind of spirit, then your ass is going to get washed. Yo ass. So if you think it's hard to do that now, you're not even understanding the protocol and the system and the attributes you actually need to take to actually be a 4th and 5th and 6th dimensional being. So you're just letting spirits come here do that shit. And you're just being disgruntled with yourself, thinking you need to run or thinking you need to fight against a system. No, this system is the system. Take the people out of the conclusion. This is the way the system and the dimension that we are in work in general, whether it's people there or not. Trees will be doing the same thing. Grass will be doing the same thing. Everything is fighting for space and location. This lets you know your spirit is your space. And the bigger your spirit is, the bigger your aura becomes. The bigger your aura, the bigger your space. Therefore, you will have more awareness. You'll have more zeros. You'll have more being. You'll have more awareness. Therefore, you have your space. And the bigger your space is, the more comfortable you could be. You won't feel suffocated. You know what I'm saying? And if anybody come into your space, they have to vibrate with your frequency. And if they don't vibrate with your frequency, then their space can't be added to your space. So they're going to have to disclose their space somewhere else. And that's when you're going to have to go to war or learn how to do. Now, going to war in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension is basically like destroying somebody's space. Destroying somebody's space in general. You know what I'm saying? So either you destroy. This is why it's important to understand the rules of engagement when you're going to war or getting an esoteric lawyer. You know what I'm saying? So you can know what and what not to do. But for the most part, you're destroying somebody's space. So you're either just truly evaporating somebody's space and idea and concept, or you're forcing that person to move their space into a different location, into a different realm of reality that's separate from the realm of reality that y'all was both in, that y'all clashed in with y'all esoteric bubbles in the first place. This is why y'all need to understand in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimensional aspect of things, we don't even look at numbers the way y'all look at numbers. So in the 3rd dimension, if you was to write out 0 plus 0 equals 0, I'm going to tell you, you're right. But I'm just going to say you're not looking at it in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimensional way. You're just looking at it from a 3rd dimensional way. Then you're going to look at me like what I mean. From a 4th, 5th, and 6th dimensional aspect, these not even numbers. These are just frequencies. So that little 360 circle, little frequency wave that y'all creating down here, look at that as space. So the more zeros is really just the more space in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension, right? So we would look at 0 plus 0 as 1 0. So it's the same way how y'all looking at it. Y'all just not having an overall perception of it. I got more perception of it. So when we in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimensional realm look at 0 plus 0, it equals 1 0. Now, if 0 means space, like I said, if you had a dollar, but then you had a bunch of zeros after it, you just got a dollar with more space, or $2 or $3 with more space. You see what I'm saying? So it's more awareness. So you need to look at this from a 4th, 5th, and 6th dimensional aspect, as I'm gonna give you this right now. Now, if 0 represents space, and your space represents your spirit, this is letting you know two spirits came together to create one spirit. Two spaces came together to create one space. This is how you get individual spaces within a space. So y'all looking at it from a third dimension because y'all so low, y'all think all space is just one space. But this is why you can move into another space and feel totally different. You know what I'm saying? And this is why you have your own space. So everybody can look at me in a third dimensional realm right now and be like, and logically try to say I don't make sense. But spiritually, you're going to be like, damn, but he just explained how the fuck I got here. So how you think you became your own individual space? You have your own individual spirit. You know what I'm saying? 0 plus 0 equals 0. 1, 0. A spirit came together with another spirit to create one spirit. Your spirit is your space. So this is your space, your surroundings. So this is why the more space that you have, the more comfortable you could be in your surroundings. And the moment somebody try to invade your space, you start to feel uncomfortable. Now, they don't have to be touching you physically. Somebody could just be invading your space by calling you all the goddamn time. They're invading, and they could be invading your goddamn space, and you'll start to feel smothered. You see what I'm saying? So you got to get this clear understanding from a 4th, 5th, and 6th dimensional level what these things are. Now, love is motherfucking evil. Now, like I said, this is how we play it out. Now, y'all see how y'all go to war down here, and whoever goes with this person's worldview got the most soldiers, and then whoever agreed with this person's worldview got the most soldiers, and then y'all start to fight over land. You need to know in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension, this is how we conduct nuclear bombs and shit like that. Also, we use the substance of love. Now, what's in the substance of love? Right? In the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension. A whole bunch of light. Whole bunch of shit that people like. Whole bunch of shit that people like to indulge into, or people kind of choose to resonate with, because spirits love light. Spirit feed off light. Light is something that is a substance that a spirit can gravitate towards and utilize to create a light body from. You know what I'm saying? To be aware of itself through some type of astral travel. So spirits are attracted to forms of light, and light is creation. Light is a created form. Light is not the creator, it's the creation. So y'all motherfuckers stop calling the spirit the light also. So for the most part, y'all done made the spirit the light. So that's where the fuck y'all spirit is. That's what y'all spirit is, not my spirit. But for the most part, this is why my soul group can have this kind of knowledge, because we don't tie our spirits to no dumbass shit. You know what I'm saying? Now, when we talk about love as being evil, now we utilize a lot of elements and chemicals, but love is one of the most dominant ones. Now we put a lot of that element in there. Now a lot of that element is stuff that people like. Now for the most part, when we go into war, say I throw a nuclear bomb, and they got a whole bunch of love light essence elements in it, right? What it'll do is it'll blow up somebody's space, or whoever I'm going to war with. It'll blow up their space, right? And that space will create a hole. Because what y'all see when y'all see an explosion down here? A whole bunch of light and explosion, right? Boom, a light and an explosion, if it's big enough, it create a hole in the ground, right? So it do that in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension. It'll blow up somebody's spot, blow up somebody's whole ram and shit. Idea. Now what happens is it create a hole. Now all the spirits that was living or resonating or following that person who just went to war and lost by this nuclear bomb, whoever threw the nuclear bomb that had a whole bunch of love element in it, right? They all the spirits, the forms that they was taking in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension, they all gonna die. They all get washed through and they all die. Now as they state of being their spirits, it falls into that hole also. Now that hole that is mixed with all the elements and the chemicals of the nuclear bomb, right? So that whole land gets what they call that when they do chemicals in the air and shit, then everybody catch viruses from the air and shit. What y'all call that? I forgot what y'all call that. Everybody get affected. Everybody get mutated and shit like that. So that's what kind of happens in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension, right? And everybody get mutated into the spectrums and the element of that nuclear bomb, aka everybody's spiritual state of being start creating light bodies that resonate with the love fashion of the person who just threw that bomb. So aka in the 3rd dimension, it would play out as everybody start loving and appreciating and valuing this person who just won the war in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimensional realm. You know what I'm saying? So everybody will love and pay attention to that person. But in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimensional realm, this motherfucker just utilized the love chemical element itself and made a nuclear bomb to blow somebody's whole shit up. Now, in the 3rd dimension, that person will stop receiving the love. will start receiving, but in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension, they just got motherfucking destroyed. So love is motherfucking evil in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension, because the whole purpose of love in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension is to love yourself. That's your own. It's a weapon. Everything is a weapon. You need to know you're not none of this shit. Stop getting lost in the body and try to scientifically correlate everything to the body. You see what I'm saying? In the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension, these are just tools for your spaceship and your artillery and your warship. Not your warships, your warship. You know what I'm saying? Your real warship. You know what I'm saying? That you create for yourself. Not what you worship in the third dimension. The fucking warship you develop for yourself, because you go into wars and you always in fighting. You see what I'm saying? So, when you're talking about love, right? In the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension, right? This is a tool you're supposed to utilize for yourself. Same way we could be like, we got nuclear bombs. So you ever heard in the third dimension somebody be like, yeah, I'm the motherfucking bomb. That's somebody who feel like they the shit. Like, I'm the bomb. So in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension, that's what you really is. That's really what you is. You the bomb. You see what I'm saying? You the bomb. You see what I'm saying? So it's all about yourself in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension. The more you love yourself, the more you the bomb. You explode on any fucking body. You the bomb. You everybody scared of. You what everybody paying attention to. You know what I'm saying? You what everybody love to have. You become the bomb, and you'll blow up somebody's spot in a motherfucking second. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, you became your motherfucking own, you became your own bomb. So think about people who love themselves down here in the third dimension, right? These are people who manifest a bunch of loving scenarios in their lives, right? Because you ain't gonna find love constantly trying to look for it into others, hoping somebody show you the love that you want. It ain't until you start loving yourself, until you start manifesting all things that resonate with the way you love in the first place. Then you'll be in an energy state where you could pick and choose. It'll be somebody who showing 10 times over the way you want to be loved, and you're sitting back thinking if you should take it or not. It'll be like that. You know what I'm saying? You have so much to choose from. So that's why love is so powerful in the third dimension. That's what y'all need to understand. That's why love is so motherfucking powerful in the third dimension. Because in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension, that shit is actually a weapon. So it's evil. So the shit y'all look at as evil down here in the third dimension, y'all really not clear on that. You need to take a look back and take a look at the shit that you love. That's the shit that kills you. Because that's the shit you would die for. So I would hate for any of my soul group to be dying for a spirit that y'all following, aka a motherfucking Jesus or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I hear a lot of people in the third dimension say they had died for Krishna. They had died for Muhammad. They had died for Jesus. And you're dying out of that love. And you're not knowing in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension, loving too much things outside of yourself is your way of getting lost, your way of getting washed, your way of not truly knowing what love is. So you end up putting yourself in a state of being that you only end up manifesting a whole bunch of experiences that's trying to teach you what love is. And the more you're not learning and observing and being aware of what you're doing wrong, the more you're going to keep going through the same experiences, aka keep repeating the same dimension and realm of reality, no matter how long it takes, whether it's one lifetime or a trillion of lifetimes. But no matter how long it fucking takes, you gonna learn what the fuck love is until your ass learn and come into a life form to the point that you gonna reject loving anything outside of yourself, and you gonna love yourself so much to the point that people gonna kill you in that lifetime just for you to go to the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension and be like, damn, I did all that just to make myself realize I was tired of being in the third dimension. And that's all those lifetimes it took just for me to get killed again, to realize that I'm supposed to love my goddamn self and only love outside of myself as a tool or attribute. Once you get into that attribute, you will start to be able to decipher who you're supposed to be loving, who is worthy of your love, who deserve your love. Therefore, if it's anyone who match your frequency vibration, therefore in the astral realm, they are a part of your space. They are a part of your soul group. So y'all are each other's weapon. Y'all are the nuclear. Y'all are all of y'all the bomb. So y'all are together. So y'all just like a big ass spirit bomb, waiting to blow up somebody's shit who come trying to deflect on y'all shit. You see what I'm saying? But for the most part, when you get into scenarios of loving things outside of yourself, but you don't even know how to love yourself, You end up just being a soldier. You are not the bomb. You are one of the soldiers on a field that get blew up when the bomb gets exploded. So you were just fighting a good fight. You one of the people that other spirits have to go tell the rest of the spirits that, yeah, this person is in another dimension right now. They're going to be no longer taking shapes and forms in this space and location. They have got washed out by the current out of this space and location in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension. So, you know, even though that's your spiritual family, you will no longer be seeing them in this space and location at the moment. They got other rotations that they have to experience based upon what they was taking the shape and form of here, along with y'all. You know what I'm saying? And therefore, this is where you get veteran stories and shit. A veteran. A person who was in a routine and pattern for a long period of fucking time. So they became a veteran within one specific location in the astral realm. You know what I'm saying? And in the 3rd dimension, y'all get lost in so much shit. Y'all veterans in a whole lot of shit. A lot of y'all need motherfucking retirement budgets and shit like that. Because a lot of y'all are tired in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension. For real. So y'all just stay in one little old spot. Y'all don't want to move nowhere else. And in the 3rd dimension, it plays out that way. I don't give a fuck how much you think you traveling in the 3rd dimension in an illusion. You still stuck in one state of being. You know what I'm saying? So when I say love is evil, the same way I was breaking down how the sun is evil, take your mind, when you're watching Archangel Uriel, before you even click play, you got to take your mind out of the 3rd dimension. Now, we can sit here and talk all day about the 3rd dimension, how love is powerful here, how all we need is love and we can bring things together and shit like that. Okay, yeah, but in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimensional level, as Archangel Uriel, I can break that down while y'all even think about that in the 3rd dimension. In the 3rd dimension, y'all already in a hole. Y'all already down lower. So the lower you are, the more scattered, the more realm of reality, the more zeros, the more space, the more y'all need necessary procedures to come together. The more hellistic natures, the more y'all need to come together. So the more y'all need the energy mechanisms that y'all made out of in order to come together. So if y'all made out of the element that blew up the hole that y'all have sunk into to be in the 3rd dimension in the first place, y'all gonna need a lot of that substance. That's almost like a habit. That's what we in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension. We mix all the things. The love chemical is way more powerful than the other chemicals we mix with it. We mix a bunch of other shit, but love is the most powerful one. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of shit that y'all love and indulge into and appreciate, all that shit was in it. All the shit that y'all like, all the shit that put y'all in a hole in this dimension. You know what I'm saying? That's what you got to keep that in mind. So y'all already in the hole. So if the chemical that then made y'all motherfucking genetically what they call that again? Like when shit is in the air, like say like they put shit in the air and then y'all start to get motherfucking all deformed and shit like that. Okay, now y'all deformed by that love substance that whoever being in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimensional realm blew this space up, whoever ruled this space before, and now they done took over this space. Now y'all all need its substance. So now y'all all modified with that substance. So y'all need that shit. So it's almost like a habit. Think about the stuff that you love down here in the 3rd dimension. This is the best way I can break it down, right? Shit that you love and appreciate and value, to even down to the point to the children that you make, right? Now, the shit that you love, it becomes a habit. And it becomes, you indulge, you went in it, and it becomes a habit. Now, this habit is something that you're willing to compromise with. So you will compromise certain other things in your life in order for that habit. Now, habit don't have any, it is not exclusive to just drugs and different love situations. This goes to any job, everything could be a habit. You might work out too much, you might think too much. That could be a habit. Now, anytime something turns into a habit, it becomes something you indulge into. So it leaves the realm of moderation. So you leave the realm of reality of moderation in this dimension, and now you have put your state of being and traveled into another space, into another state, ran by another authority, and in that space, the way it's vortexing, right, it creates a routine and a pattern. Now that's a habit. Now you're spiritually stuck in that authority. So that's like you in the astral realm, in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimensional realm, living in a country, and you just like the way that country work. You like the laws in that country. To go that L word again. You like the laws in that country. So you love and appreciate, and you're willing to compromise there. So you stay in that space, ran by that 4th and 5th and 6th dimensional being. And however that being is playing out in the 3rd dimension, whatever vessel is in. As Archangel Uriel, as a 4th, 5th, and 6th dimensional being, I'm playing out in the 3rd dimensional vessel as Dolo the Polyman. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got this fucking Jesus dude who was born in the third dimension. Y'all got this motherfucker telling y'all that he was God in the flesh. He was the God in the and God is just a spirit in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension. You see what I'm saying? That's what you need to understand. The overall God is a parameter. But for the most part, you need to know that you got a person who played out as a who is this a parameter. Then you got a person who likes to take energies, created a fourth, fifth, and sixth dimensional aspect, right? Then this became, that was Lucifer, love, light, whatever like that, right? Then it plays out the characteristics, but it actually is the spirit of the motherfucker who won this space and location as a seventh, eighth, and ninth dimensional being, as oversouls, overlords, motherfucking whole parameters. You know what I'm saying? Whole aspects, whole gods. Those are real, genuine God. You know what I'm saying? But there's many of them. Then you got the shapes and forms of them, which is the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimensional aspect, right? So this is where you get them trying to be aware of themselves if they took over a space and location. If they took over a space and location, that means they got a fleshly fluid or physical representation there. Now, the deformation there, information. But in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimensional aspect, I don't look at the word information the way y'all look at it. That's why y'all be trying to figure out shit. Y'all trying to get out of a figure, of an alignment. You know what I'm saying? So y'all going in a form of shit. Let's not get to that. But for the most part, right? So you have many different 7th, 8th, and 9th dimensional beings who want to be aware of themselves and take over a space and location. But we, as 7th, 8th, and 9th dimensional beings, we're all as spirits creating this space. Then the space we're creating shapes and forms within this space, become individual spaces. So we're creating clouds and shit in light forms and gases and shit and stars and light forms and frequency waves within the space to go into, to inhabit, to possess, to be aware of ourselves. Then that's when we go to war. We start to use what we created, our spaceships within this space, based upon us relating to each other as spirits and creating shapes and forms out of those vortexes, because we're creating energies just by relating with each other. And then we're creating spaceships, warships, right? Then we go to war. Since we're getting so tight in space, because your space is your spirit, I need more space, motherfucker. So I create shapes and forms around me. Auras. That's what a shape and form will be in the fourth and fifth and sixth dimensional realm. A cloud, an aura. You know what I'm saying? Now with this aura, motherfucker, I need more space, or we're going to go to fucking war. Now the shit I'm creating and vortexing within my space is my technology. Now whose conscious better? Whose light form's better? Who warship is better? Whose technology is better? You see what I'm saying? Whose light body's better? Whose chakra wheels is better? Whose feminine and masculine shape forms is better? You see what I'm saying? Whose energy is better? Whose yang is better? Whose karate? Whose kung fu is better? That's what it's going to boil down to. Now we fighting for space. And that's where you get the concept of love being evil. Now in the third, because it's used for evil things in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimensional realm. But in the illusion, in the light of y'all already being exploded in the third dimensional realm, that's the shit y'all needed. Because it's the shit that blew y'all up. And now y'all need that same substance to sustain yourself. So y'all gravitated towards it like natural selection, like little bacteria and shit. Because that's really what you are right now. You're a spirit within a bacteria, a cell, or whatever you want to call it. Organism. However scale you want to put it on. A group of shit came together to create one, whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? So, you need to get that in mind. I can take y'all through many different rounds when we talk about this fourth, fifth, and sixth dimensional aspect, like it, because it's never ending. That's really the fucking never ending fall. Never ending, what they call that? I don't even know what the fuck y'all be calling shit down here. All I can do is explain the shit. Y'all, what? All I can do is motherfucking go onto the motherfucking details. I got one in a hole too, nigga. Whatever you got, I got one in a hole too. You know, but yeah, we talking about in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension. So keep that in mind. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, that's like I said, it's all about going to war. It's all about going to war. So if you need motherfucking space, that's how you get in your motherfucking space. So right now you fighting for motherfucking space. So at the same time, your space got to be heavily secluded. You have to be secluded in your own space. You have to love yourself, have to have your own artillery, have to have your own weapon, have to have your own power, have to have your own energetic signature. You know, say your own energetic signature. And in the third dimension, it play out as you having your own idea. You having your own feeling and emotion about shit. Therefore, niggas can't tamper with that shit. Now, if you are lost within a realm of reality in the third dimension, and you have developed your own conscience and your own circumstances and your own vehicles within somebody else's, because that's what it is. If you're in somebody else's theology or philosophy or concept, and then you developed your spaceships out of that shit, then you may need to understand that your shit might be a little weakened. That's like you getting a car from Italy, or you having an American car and you driving it somewhere in Italy, and you have to drive on the whole other side of the road and shit like that. So for the most part, it's like things is not going to make sense. Things is not going to be calculated. Things is not going to be understood. Things is not going to be well put together. So you're gonna have to find yourself going through way more harsher experiences than you would if you would have actually learned the actual shape and form for yourself. That's like you going somewhere else and they speak a whole nother language. If you don't learn the language for yourself, you're not going to understand their language. You just can't go apply yourself thinking that people are going to understand you. So that's the same way it is in the fourth and fifth, the sixth dimensional realm. If you in the third dimension going along with someone else's concepts and ideas, in the third dimension, that's like going along with someone else's language. Then in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension, say you go into another space and location, right? But your spaceship is developed with someone else's hardware, not even your hardware. And you're going to get washed and going into another astral realm. Now in the third dimension, it just plays out as you going somewhere else and you can't speak the language. You going into a Arab store and they talking, roasting the fuck out of you, and you don't know what the fuck they saying. See what I'm saying? Now, if you understand true energetic signatures and state of beings, you will understand everything. The hell with the goddamn illusion, you will understand the frequency vibration. So you will know the energetic state of being a person just has to be in order for them to even have certain face expressions, certain body movements, and for their lips and tongue to move in certain ways in general. So even if you don't understand what's actually coming out of the tongue movement, you will be able to decipher that tongue is only moving in that aspect, and with the facial expressions and things and body language around it is only moving in that aspect for only one or two reasons. So if you get spiritually inclined enough, you will be able to understand that. So you will be able to motherfucker know how to react to whatever they're doing anyway, to put in their mind like, hold on, did this motherfucker understand what we were saying? You know what I'm saying? It'll be like that. For real. It's different, man. This shit go deep, man. But I'm gonna close this video before this shit take all day to upload, because I'm uploading this on my phone and this look like it's a half an hour or something. So, flight boss, bitch, goddamn air, ee-hee.